what I'm going to show you today is how to plant a containerized tree, and this is something you can use all summer long, fall or spring. We'll talk about planting the width of the hole, and a lot of times people will think I just need to dig a hole big enough just for the size of the container. But current recommendation is we always like to go at least 3 times the diameter of the original root ball wide. So one of those things where we need to always allow that root flare to be at the surface. So by no means do we want to plant it deeper just for the fact to try to make it sturdier. For every 2 or 3 scoops of your existing soil, you want to add 1 scoop of peat moss or well-decomposed compost, and you'll blend your soil as you're digging. That way it makes it a lot easier for when you eventually backfill into the hole. These trees are container grown. As you can tell, the root system has a tendency to curl around it. A lot of times people have a tendency just to scratch up the surface and call it good. And the current recommendation is actually to go quite a bit deeper than that. All these circling roots need to be, in a certain sense, untangled. I like to take a pruner or a knife, cut along the side, approximately 1 inch deep. Did nothing to this tree, roots will have a tendency to continue growing in a circle, and after like 3 or 4 years, the tree's not really well suited, And very often, it's been documented that circling roots, and this is many years down the road, but let's say 10 or 15 years down the road, trees will actually girdle themselves. They'll actually choke themselves off. You can see where I'm unraveling roots. People work in like 4 different areas. I'm putting my finger down through there, and occasionally I can find a bigger root. I'll bring that to the surface. You are going to eliminate some roots, but our goal is not to try to eliminate a lot of soil. We do not want to bare root this plant. We want this plant to be what I always like to say, a shaggy haircut. This is a completed, ready to be put into the ground, and I'll make a few points of what we need to do further with this tree. As you can tell, some of these roots came halfway around this root ball. I've peeled those back, and actually in the process, I might actually lay those into the trench in which we're digging. These are all viable roots in which you can kind of see this will be a heavy emphasis of root system in through here. As I work our way around the other side of I've noticed that one branch, this is a good example, I have a root that's going straight up into the air. This guy's coming right from the end, out from the side of the ball, and it hit the side of the pot and went straight up. This is, a wasted root growth. In fact, sometimes when you find a root that's obviously not going to be growing at the surface of the ground, I'll go ahead and take my pruner and we'll cut that guy off. And again, we're looking for shaggy hair, loose strands of white hairs. The ones we're really excited about are the ones that are loose and stringly. We'll put a 2-stake system, which is a stake through the ground here, a stake through the ground here, and then tied material that goes off to here, tied material that goes off to here. And we want that tree to move around a little bit after it's in the ground. The old wives' tale about filling up the hole with water first isn't always necessary. We have the ability to come back and water that plant on a regular basis. So after, do not fill up the bottom of the hole with water. What you want to do is set it in the hole, backfill as you need, and then water it finally. So you might anywhere from 15 to 20 gallons of water on the first watering. An hour later, if you want to put another 5 or 10 gallons. It's hard to overwater on the first watering. After we get it in the ground, a good healthy watering, and a layer of mulch right on top. And that's about all you need to know for planting a tree.